You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Gene. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Whodunnit After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Whodunnit After Show.
I don't know this one.
Yeah, I'm out. Brian?
Not it. Oh, Steven, what is it?
Matlock.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I'm old enough for that one.
Yeah, me neither. Well, I mean, I am.
You're never too old for math.
Hey guys, tonight Bing is for doing, and we're here doing another Whodunnit after show. Episode 5, Ba Dee, which I don't really see the tie-in.
Bum-ba-da-da, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Isn't it like dun dun dun?
That's the trademark Law and Order sound, so probably not
Okay.
that.
Well, tonight it seems like the game is changing a little bit. Some of the rules are changing. 2 people are killed off.
It's my favorite episode yet.
Really? Why?
Well, because who gets killed?
Skipping right to the end.
Aren't you
I'm
gonna
just
miss
saying, I'm
Sasha?
just saying. Absolutely.
I know she was your favorite.
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry for having that spoiler right up front,
Yeah.
but I loved this episode.
Yeah.
Loved it.
You know, I really love the fact that they're actually showing us more of the actual killer. They're showing us,
Little glimpses.
yes.
So we can go back and look.
Yes. And we've had some viewers, we've had some questions. We're expecting a phone call from Anthony Zuiker, the executive producer. So hopefully we'll get to ask him some questions tonight about the show, about the rules.
But we have had a lot of really great comments from
We
you
have
guys.
a caller on the line.
Ooh, awesome.
Oh, there we go. So we have a caller on the line. Anthony, are you there?
Oh, they hang up.
Okie dokie. Well, we're going to sort that out. But we do have Anthony calling in. We have a couple questions for him. We're very, very excited about it. We thank all the folks over at ABC for helping us organize the call. But is he back again yet, Steven?
Caller, you're on the line with AFTERBUZZ TV's Whodunnit After Show.
Hey, it's Anthony Zuiker.
Hi.
Hey.
Hey.
How are you?
Right on time.
I know. We like it. You're actually a couple minutes early. I'm very impressed. I like it.
That's how I'm doing it nowadays. Nice and early.
Well, thank you so much for calling in, and we appreciate all the folks over at ABC that helped us, make
Sure.
this happen. We just watched the show. Very good episode tonight. How are you feeling about the show?
I feel great. I mean, I've been telling everybody this is like the Chris Abrego, Anthony Zuiker masterpiece. We debuted, almost 5 weeks ago. Some people got it, some people didn't. But I got to tell you, I sit in the cutting room every single week, and I'm like, this show is just so good. It just gets better and better and better. And tonight was a really fun double murder.
It was a fun episode, and the game changed a little bit. We got to see a little bit more of the murder. We got to see not just a shadowed out individual that was doing the actual murder. We got to see that somebody, and we actually wanted to go back and try and see if we could tell whose horse it was, but we didn't have time. So
No, I know.
I feel
was
like
reading some of the tweets, and people were rewinding it back, going, "Oh, blah blah blah, is on the black horse and close." And we were so nervous about it. This episode in particular is the 5th episode of 9. So don't forget, I'm writing these things before we're actually shooting these things. So I don't know how smart or savvy the contestants are going to be at this point. So we knew that we had to get more and more difficult. And ABC kept warning me, they're going to be smart. They're going to be smart. So this is a couple of tricks on there, and like the left side of the snake satchel and the right side leg, stuff like that, to try to throw them off. But this is one of those things where the origination of this particular murder weapon was from Trey Calloway, one of our writers from CSI New York, who's on staff, who said that he read somewhere that in Africa they do this kind of thing where they take 2 nails, put snake poison, and whap you, and then you're dead in the desert. And people, when they find you, they think, oh, well, this guy got bit by a snake, but it's actually murder. And I'm like, oh, we're using that one.
Good idea. So I have a quick question about the death sequences. Are the deaths sequenced to the episode, or have you guys figured out, like, when, Ulysses dies, he's going to get whacked with the poisonous, 2x4 that has the nails on it? Like, does that have any correlation, or is it just kind of how it works out?
No, I mean, the first thing that we do in the writers' room, like myself and Liz Devine, who's a real CSI from CSI Vegas, and then Trey Calloway, CSI New York, myself, and a guy named Travis, who's our writer's assistant. But we will actually break the true crime top to bottom with all the evidence, and we'll write it out like the story. So when Giles reads it, that's the first thing we do. And then we'll just go back and just unpack the script to them. But we'll put contestant number 5. It'll be blank until they go ahead and do the episode in real time, and then we'll go ahead and plug and play, Ulysses, and have, Gildard and Giles read the true crime and just plug and play the person who got immunity, the plug and play who are the bottom 2 or 3, and the plug and play for, as the episode plays out. So the thing about this versus CSI is these scripts are coming out like every 15 minutes. Because as things change inside the episode, I'm putting out new pages, so it's pretty frantic.
So is it actually being filmed like over a day? Like, how long are we seeing this? Because
it's 2 days. Yeah, 2 days of shooting. Like that was in Valencia, California. So that was 2 long, hot, crazy days. But it looks beautiful. I mean, the horses and the slow motion, the cinematography is just fantastic. And then the day 3 is what we call interview days. So those are the days where, the story editors go ahead and ask the contestants all the questions that are pertinent to what happened in the previous 2 days. And the sound bites completely sever life in the cutting room. So therefore, we can kind of keep the story going based on the interview bites.
So you said that you're basically churning out, additional pages, or at least plug and play kind of edits to the script as it's going. Are you and some of the other writers basically like watching, some footage that's live or that's recorded, or? Oh
yeah, it's all live. Okay. That's the thing. We'll be. I was literally a script ahead only. Okay. So I mean, it was literally. And the thing is, for example, I don't know if you guys watched the show from the beginning, but when Dante died, all the contestants kept making comments about Dante's Inferno. So I had to go back inside the true crime script with Giles and be like, and just start the show with, Dante, Dante's Inferno, my homage, it writes itself. I got to go back and change that. And every time there would be a zig or a zag in the script that I can call back, I would just hop in and change the script. Sometimes they'd miss evidence. Like I got to go back in and maybe have the killer sometimes say, you're getting sloppy, or you missed it. And you'll see some of those things in the episodes to where I make comments. Just trying to keep it real time. But, CSI is different. You have, fighters are a script. You go down there, they shoot for 8.5 days. And there's 3 weeks in post. This is like your script behind. They're 15 to 20-page scripts. You're shooting over 2 days. Day 3 is interviews, and you're prepping. I mean, imagine prepping these murders with a couple of days notice. We shot this thing every single day for 29 straight days on the episodes, and it nearly killed us. It was a very, very tough shoot.
I have a question too. I read somewhere that the post-show corpse confessions were something that was actually added, and I don't believe that was in episode 1.
No. So here's what happened. So we debut September 23rd or something. Mm-hmm. No, not September. Was it June 23rd?
Yeah.
And the guy was on the type wire, the high wire guy. So he's there like snatching all of our viewers.
Oh, the guy crossing the Grand Canyon.
Right, yeah. It's like 15 million people, like, adios to half an hour. So they debuted like 4.3 million people. All these comments kept coming back from the press and kept coming back from people about, it's silly and hokey and scripted and this and that, and they're actors. And I'm like, whoa, what? Actors? So now I'm like, uh-oh. Now they think it's some kind of cheesy, cheap CSI show, and I was getting like crazy. So I called ABC. I'm like, well, we need to make sure people are clear. Like, these are not actors. People are stressed out on this show. We went to have thousands of people submit. We got down to like 98, down to 48, down to 13. So we went back in the previous year and we're like, 13 everyday people. Did you hear me? Everyday people, right? And then we luckily shot the post interviews with them with makeup on, I'm like, just pop those in at the end to tell people, A, they're not actors, and B, that we're not killing people on the show. I mean, continually, I'm telling you, I still get, comments every single episode about, are you killing people on the show? I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah,
you think we're really killing people on the show? I'm going to be up for murder at ABC? So we had to literally, and by the way, I've been taught at CSI that the audience, at the end of the day, is so much smarter than us, which I believe. And if you give the audience 35%, they'll fill in 65%. So I didn't want to hand walk everybody through the gameplay, paint by numbers in episode 1. So it was really my call to make sure that we didn't use things like elimination, challenge, gameplay, contestant. It didn't overly explain the rules and just let it play out with this sort of new reality fiction. But people, they took it wrong, and some people just didn't get it, never came back. Those that get it now, are totally sucked in.
Yeah, there was definitely, I think, a little confusion because, if you don't go to the website or if you don't watch to the very, very end in the beginning, you're not really aware that there's a test,
right,
which I get probably doesn't make good television to see people going into a room to write down answers to a test. But, like, some of the things of what's on this test, and a question that we get a lot from viewers is it a multiple choice test, or do they have to...
No, it's not, because we don't want to... So here's the thing. That's weird, right? As standards of practice is you have to legally make the contestants take a written test. Okay? So the whole state your case part of the show is real, obviously, but the true testament of like if you're going to survive or not is this written test, hocus pocus. So they do that. Okay. They're all fill in the blank.
Okay.
We don't want you to jog your memory. And go, oh, it was static electricity. Oh, it was the snake weapon, right? So SFP has a whole song and dance with these tests that you take off screen. My boss didn't want to show, the contestant is taking a test on the show, because I, from my storytelling background with CSI, wanted to make sure this felt like a reality fiction. It felt like, in so many ways, you're kind of watching a drama, and don't break the fourth wall by having people at a desk with sharpened pencils. Didn't want to do that.
Right.
So that's how they get kicked off, and whoever does the best on the written test is the one who's spared in immunity, and the ones who do the worst are in the bottom 2 or 3, and ultimately the worst test taker gets bounced, and if the killer is ever scared, then he or she cannot get kicked off. That's the rules.
Right, I do have a question about that. It seems that until this episode, where actually Chris was the one that was like saved like right away, it seemed like she figured it out the most. It didn't really coincide with whoever was telling the story or whoever got the last clue, whether it be Ronnie 2 episodes ago. And they weren't the one that was actually saved right away. So is it really the person that's saved right away is the top on that test, or is that random?
Yeah, that's what happens. So the thing is, here's the rub, right? Here's the TV rub that we tell people, like on this show, because this is like the insider stuff, right? As I lay in my bed next to my 6-year-old. At the end of the day, in a perfect world, Chris in that episode would have had the most kick-ass bites, right? She would have been like bam, 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 bam. Right. And so if you watch the State Your Case by itself, you're like, oh, Chris did the best in her pitch. And that would make sense of her being spared and granted immunity. A lot of times we don't have the best footage of the State Your Case to warrant why somebody wins the immunity for the episode. You understand?
Yes.
So it's problematic because here's the thing, we're going off a written test. The audience has no idea it's a written test. But we have to take the best bites for the presumptive winner of the State Your Case challenge, but we don't have the footage to support it sometimes. So it's a little bit hinky. So if you're ever watching the show and go, oh, how could Lindsay win? How could Ulysses win? It's because we're a bit hamstrung on what we shoot for State Your Case.
Okay.
Now, when you guys were doing the casting, did you have a separate casting for the killer, or was it actually somebody who was going up to be a contestant?
No, they're all contestants, and I think what happened, because I had people in town from Buffalo, so I didn't actually do the final casting. I left it in the hands of my partners, but I think, as I understand it, we asked the final 13 or 14, hey, would you want to be a killer? And there's a guaranteed money prize for being the killer. And I believe a handful of people said, yeah, sure. And then of that, yeah, sure, they chose one. And I had no idea who the killer was for the first 8 episodes. I had no idea. I mean, I actually guessed I guess literally, it's Dante. He would get killed. Oh, it's Adriana because she's acting weird.
Right.
Okay, so it's got to be, Dunne. So he goes, it's the cop. Oh, it's the ex-cop guy who lies. He got killed. And I'm like, I'm done guessing. Forget it. So after that, I had no idea.
And are you guys married to that killer? I mean, you kind of have
that's
to
the
be at
killer
this
the entire
point.
way.
Okay.
I mean, it's funny because when you don't know, I'm on the set with these people like every single day. I mean, I'm watching closely. I have no idea. You'll have no idea at the end of the day. I mean, unless you're really, really savvy. But you just, it's like the obvious. Is it the obvious? Maybe. Is it not obvious? Maybe. I mean, your head plays so many games, and I was just tired of guessing. Like, I just couldn't do it. And every time the cast would see me, on lockdown, they'd always give me, crazy looks because I was the sort of Moriarty writing crazy scripts behind their back. But I had these guys so terrorized, and you saw. When I had to kill Dana and Sasha, meaning I had to walk in and go, hey, I'm the Grim Reaper. Adios, guys. You guys are off the show, and kind of walk them through that emotionally because Dana was like, I am so ready to go. I want off this show.
Yeah.
I'm so stressed out. I mean, she was like so over it. I mean, so all those alligator tears, they're not acting. I mean, she was a wreck the entire show, and it was time for her to go. And then Sasha was just so angry about this whole, this snake business, and when I cut that episode, remember when she did the whole rant?
Yeah.
I told you guys black and red and Jack. That was actually earlier in the show, but I put it when she got her scared card. I just lifted that segment and put it there in the show, so she kind of just went off like mid scared or spared, which is kind of fun. So it's all the power of like editing.
That's awesome. And is there? I've read some places that is there hints in every episode that lead to the killer, or is that
very subtle? Very subtle.
How
yeah,
subtle?
I mean, you really gotta watch. Can you go back and watch the horses and rewind stuff? No. I mean, we were very, very particular not to do that.
Right.
But we're sitting there in the editing room, in the writers' room, going, okay, we need a diversion. The original diversion, by the way, was this supposed to be at night. So when they walked across the tripwire, we're supposed to tripwire fireworks to get the melee going, and then actually have the guy. Well, we couldn't do fireworks in the forest. It's against the law.
Right.
So we ended up doing we ended up doing pigeons, which was fine. It worked out great because I think that shot in the day, the recreation of the slow motion was actually pretty awesome. But the funny part about the pigeons was I was like, okay, so once they get let go, like where do they go? And they're like, oh, they go back home. I'm like, reset, so that those homing pigeons actually just fly away and go back to their place, 20 miles away.
Did you get that on the first take? Those pigeons perfectly.
I tell you what, we were sweating the pigeons. We had a pigeon cam for a GoPro inside there, and then we had 2 cracks at the pigeons, so that was it. So the first pigeons, you couldn't even see them, and I'm like, oh no. And then the second pigeons, we got one great shot of the pigeons, and that was it. But after that, there's no like, hey, bring in some more pigeons. That was it. Like we had, I think, 40. We did 20 and 20, and we were out of pigeons, so we had to get the shot. It worked out pretty good.
You guys use a lot of animals in your diversions. Is there anything?
I know.
Any other exciting animals we're gonna see?
Any more animals?
Yeah. What are we? Is there anything we're looking forward to in the next couple episodes?
I don't think so. No more animals. Well, yeah, I can't tell you that, but no, yeah, probably not. But the thing is, the mountain lion episode in particular, the original episode that we wrote that we scrapped was. There was supposed to be a game room, like a big game hunting room inside the manor. Okay. And suddenly, when they went back to look at the game room, there was an empty head area where the mountain lion was, meaning it was loose inside the house. That was the original take, and then we kind of switched it up to come out from the trap door from the kitchen. That mountain lion's name was Kona. She's a juvenile male mountain lion. And that thing ripped up the Dawn dummy so bad at the end of the night that it ripped its head off.
Wow.
Nice.
Pretty funny.
That would have been a
True story, yeah.
good post-show corpse confession with the horse, the head hanging off. So, and then in tying it all together, you guys. So you casted the 13. From there, you gave people the opportunity to come forward to be in the running for the killer. And then is everybody happy, or is there like, man, from fans are saying this or that, and we wish we would have picked somebody else, or is it kind of still like everyone's like, yeah, we made the right pick?
Oh, we definitely made the right pick. That's for sure. I mean, I was completely fooled. No, I was right there. I talked to the cast every single night. We give them like beers and pizza to hang out and talk to them for an hour. How'd you guys think with the show? You guys all right? I had no idea. No idea. because again, the obvious is the obvious, and the unobvious is the unobvious, and you just can't figure it out. It's really impossible. But the great thing about it, what's happening on Twitter and Facebook, is the fact that literally people are backing these horses ferociously.
Right.
And ABC's been cool enough to let me. I just wrote the intro for the finale on Friday, and we're literally, it's a big, huge finale recap. And again, and they were so cool to give me the voice. I said things I want to say so bad to America, which is they're not actors, for Christ's sake. Number two, we're not killing people, for Christ's sake. We're trending on Twitter. It's like we hoodwinked you on this one. Like, we were a step ahead of everybody, and we. It's really gave us a chance to kind of just really highlight this special thing we did, which we really did pitch this no-hitter. It's a really, really good, smart show. I think people it was so new they couldn't quite get their heads. But once you're into it, and you're a loyal fan to it, it's really a great ride. And episode 6 is fantastic next week.
Really?
It's really good. Yeah. I mean, the double murder was very cool. My son tonight's like, so are they wax and their bodies are hidden somewhere else? Like he's already thinking.
Do you tell
I won't
him?
tell him anything, and my wife either. Tell them zero.
Wow, look at you being all confidential.
Oh no! I mean, I was writing the finale on Friday, and my son comes in, and I'm like, and then adios. The last thing we need you to do is Instagram the winner. I'll kill you.
So wait, so you guys are still you haven't finished filming the finale? Is that?
Oh yeah, we're done. No, we're all everything's in the can. It's just I rewrote the intro to the finale because I wanted to make sure it sort of was big and epic and recap this really great season.
So are we going to get to see like the little snippets that we should have picked out, like the little hints from every episode? Are you going to kind of do a montage of that?
Yeah. There'll be a lot of sort of like retrospective business inside the finale. I mean, you'll definitely get a recap of all the murders. You'll get all the inside stuff that we kind of want to share. There's a little bit of breaking the fourth wall in the teaser I wrote, just to kind of get people to say, hey, I didn't want to just do a traditional recap and go, okay, well, let's recap the 8 seasons. Dante got burned, Adriana got blasted.
Right.
I wouldn't just do that. I want to go in and tell the Twitter fans, hey, we're trending thanks to you. They're not actors, and these are real emotions. And if they die, they have to act out their own murder. If there is any acting, that these tears are real, and we're not killing people. And I think Giles says the line is, and this is a piece of dialogue that you'd see in 4 weeks from now, which is, some of you thought we were killing people on the show. I let the killer answer that, but then again, he or she might have to kill you. Let's recap the season, shall we? And then recap the season. It's very cool.
That's awesome. And that's also in the finale, if you showing some of the fourth wall, I think will give viewers like, wow, now next season I can watch it, and maybe if I think a little differently about it, I'll figure it out.
Oh, so totally. Our mandate always was, let's do really, really big murders. When don't forget, this whole thing started with Chris Abrego at 51 Minds, the creator of Surreal Life and those other really cool shows. They had this. The show was called Dead Celebrity, and then the gameplay didn't quite work. And so, my boss Paul Lee over at ABC was like, "Well, why don't you talk to Zuiker? Because I'm sure with the CSI brain, he could figure this thing out." So we got together at Kate Manalini's this sort of like restaurant on Wilshire. And we had lunch, and we cracked the gameplay in a couple of days, and it turned into Whodunnit. But we were always, my job was as a writer and producer was to do really, really big, fun, CSI light type episodes to where you can kind of just enjoy them and have some fun. Mountain lion and golf cart getting blasted, and someone's on fire, and that kind of stuff. And it worked, and we got more big stuff to come.
Yeah. Do you have very vivid dreams?
I don't. I mean, I have like 3 nightmares a year.
You get it all out.
They're like really. I'm usually running around my house and trying to see if I could jump off buildings and stuff and that kind of weird stuff. But I don't know. I've had so much information with CSI. I just feel like, well, it'd be cool to do this, cool to do that. Like next year, I want to do like a big boa constrictor swallow somebody, or just something really cool, or have the killer have the contestants kill someone in an accident, like by axing through a wall, or something.
Right.
So. I don't know if you guys have seen, but we have a book out called Murder and Mystery Manor. It's Whodunnit. It's a red cover on Amazon, and it literally is season 0 with like 7 new crimes and tease up Giles and the killer. It's a very cool read. So if you're a Rabbit fan, listen to this. You can pick out that $3 Kindle book. It's pretty fun.
That's awesome. Well, I just wanted to say we really, really appreciate you calling in. Thank you for all the inside scoop. If there's any other little things you think we should know, we'd love to hear them. but I know that
Yeah,
you
I'll
have a
give you a
limited
couple
time.
tips. I think next week is the episode next week's called "All the World's a Stage." It's very sort of Oscar themed, very theatrical. If you saw the next week on, you saw those dummies that look like the real people. That was really cool.
Yeah.
Great episode. And then you get to episode probably 7, 8, and then by the finale there'll be a winner, a loser, and a killer. And I think if you haven't opted in, you should go back and watch the episodes and get yourself caught up, because they just get better and better and better to the end. And we're very proud of the show. So thanks for having us, and stay tuned next week.
Yes, congratulations on the show. We love it, and we love talking about it every week. So we thank you guys for creating it, and thank you for your time tonight. We really appreciate it.
You got it. Okay, take care, guys. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And if you guys were listening or tuning in or downloading us, that was Anthony Zuiker, who is the executive producer of Whodunnit, also the executive producer and creator of CSI. So he was nice enough to join us and answer some questions, and it totally cleared some stuff up.
Yeah.
You know, it was very, very interesting. I really thought that the deaths had to do with the person, and they don't. It's just, plug and play with whenever it's your turn to go, you're dying this way.
Yeah.
Which is,
I thought it was really interesting, just the way that he said that they were writing like 3 days, or the way that the shooting was, and that it was like 15-minute writing. And, I think that I kind of look at the whole thing a little bit differently now.
Well, that really clears a lot of things up. I mean, in terms of, it seems some weeks there's, it's kind of backloaded on some of the clues or evidence, in the sense that, it seems like they really are responding to what did the contestants get, what did they not get, so that at least someone will have all the pieces. And that sounds like that's exactly what they do.
Right.
If they don't, if they don't get what they need to get from the morgue, then then they'll script it right into the into one of the later riddles.
right, that's
Genius.
Genius. It's really genius. Like, you're a genius. It really is, because I would have never. Like, I thought that they were maybe editing and doing some other stuff, you know what I mean, to make it seamless, but that clearly makes the most sense to do
Right.
that.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah, they do. So hopefully we'll see more and more seasons of this great show. Okay, so back to tonight's episode. We have the three, there's a little bit of drama in the beginning with the two teams separation, but we do break up into the different locations before, Gino tries to come over and steal somebody, but we'll get to that later. So we have at the crime scene, which again is a little bit spoiled because we've talked about it, but we had the snake, the tripwire, we had that whole thing happen.
The pigeons.
40 pigeons.
20 at a time.
20 at a time, which is genius. Like, how many? Yeah.
I just like that they were homing pigeons, and so like when they let them go, they don't have to worry about capturing them again. They just go straight back to wherever they came from, several miles away.
Yeah.
But yeah, very nice.
They think of everything.
They do. They do.
Except for a third set of pigeons, if the second hadn't worked out. But
It worked
okay.
out, though.
Yeah.
It did work out.
They had a good film crew, clearly.
Yeah.
And then we have the morgue, and I think it's funny that Milena, Lindsay, and Dana are there, and they kind of, again, it's still the game. It's Dana's hiding, that it's the two holes through the leg pants. Like, people are still playing this strategy in this game and hiding evidence from each other. And then in the last known whereabouts, Chris actually, figures out the oleander, and she doesn't want to tell Lindsay. And then we see something very interesting at the end when they're putting all their clues together, that Chris actually is like pretty much admits, like, I withheld information from you guys.
Yeah, it's definitely fun. Like, the whole thing with splitting the teams is you have to make sure you get that clue, or your team gets that clue. Then, it really makes it crucial. And like with Dana, she didn't want to show her the snake bite, and she thought she had all this information and all this stuff. But it really kind of comes back to bite her in the butt, like being on that team, literally. Bite her.
Yes. Well, one thing is, when we were watching, we had. I think Steph, you had remarked that it was just kind of weird what Chris was doing, saying, well, I lied to you earlier. But that's like, I think that's at least the second time she's done something similar to that. Because
Right.
if you remember, when she was off with Lindsay, a couple of episodes ago, she basically went to
to Sasha.
Yeah, she went to Sasha and was like, and revealed some information. I forget exactly what it was that we were just kind of dumbfounded as to why she did. So I don't know, if that's something about her personality or whether she's got some type of plan that she hasn't, she hasn't told anyone her strategy on screen yet, but maybe there's some type of strategy in that she's just trying to sow the seeds of discord among the others, or whether, I don't know.
I think it could be because, Cam kind of put this whole "this is my team" together, and I think this is maybe her way of saying, like, yeah, I may be on your team, but I kind of, I have my own thing too, because that's how I would be. I wouldn't want to be controlled by him.
Yeah, she's kind of standing her ground a little bit and being like, I still can screw you over, so don't screw me over.
Well, and I mean, we're now down to 6. In another week, one of those teams is going to be down to 2. And so,
or both of them.
Right. But certainly, if you're planning, if you want to win, which is the only, other than killer, that's the only position where you actually make any money.
Right.
You actually have to have a plan for after your team breaks up. So it could very well be that she's, saying that she's just intentionally trying to say, hey, I'm not a complete snake in the grass. The other people say, I know this information. As you can see, I'm a strong player. If we're recruiting a second team after this, I might be someone you want on that.
What's very interesting to me too, a little bit of a side note, but from what we just got from the interview is that, they had so the mentality of the contestant that was like, I might win, but maybe I should go with this guaranteed money. Like, there's a few, like, I don't know that Cam, like, I feel like Cam might be a little bit too cocky and was like, no, I'm not gonna, go for the second best. I'm gonna try and win this thing. Like, that plays into the characters and the strategy of the contestants we have. Like, who's willing to be like, you know what? Yeah, I could win 250, or we don't know how much the killer got, or I could be safe with X. So let me try that too.
That is a good point, because if you think about it, like you said, Cam, if he's thinking, okay, there was 96 of us, and then they whittled it down to this and whittled it down to this, then I'm thinking, okay, I could probably beat 12 other people.
Right.
But then I think someone with a more shy personality, like let's say Melina, I feel like she might be like, okay, I would take the money.
Right.
So it kind of could be a twist on who we think the killer could be.
Right.
Or it could just be Gino, because he's guaranteed money. I'm going to go to sleep in the opening shot of the entire thing.
Man, you've been after him for that.
You're like, do you need a nap?
No.
You're jealous of the nap, aren't you?
Always.
All right. Easy there.
So after the initial thing, we get to the arrows in the path, and I got right away, and I don't normally get it exactly right away, but I was right away with the blue arrow, because they were like, look up, blue sky. And it was interesting how people ran to the wrong one. And when they were doing those little puzzles, I was curious to why they weren't following each other. I don't know if in the rules you had to complete yours before you could run. But you notice how, like, in the previous episodes, when someone saw someone else take off running, like they knew where they were going, people followed. And that didn't happen in this one.
Yeah, I think you're right in the sense that it had to be something in this week's rules, because they were literally like encouraging each other to, I think Sasha and Dana were like, come on girl, you can do it. Like, whereas, while they're the only two people just left on that platform, it definitely seems to me that that's probably part of the rules, and that would tie in nicely to the way that they worked the Snake House, where, one person in at a time, that really does, it makes it so that it's really a hurdle you have to get there, and then, however many times in the Snake House you get is directly tied to whether or not you're able to finish that map.
Well, and it kind of also goes with what he was saying, which was that they were writing the episodes as they were going, because maybe they were like, okay, now people are starting to follow, so now we're going to write it where you have to complete this task in order to go on.
Mm-hmm.
It would make the most sense.
Right, but they couldn't, in the same sense, they couldn't be so vocal about that, because then people will be like, well, why aren't you doing this, or why aren't you doing that? But yeah, I think they are, like, they're realizing along the way, like, it is changing. Like, the whole show is changing slightly as we keep going forward.
It's definitely getting better.
It's totally getting better.
And I think that they're perfectly okay. It sounds like this is the vagueness of what's going on behind the scenes as to what we see on camera is intentional. As Anthony described it, calling it reality fiction. Right. Basically this is intentionally kind of a mashup to have it's these real people, but they're going to script it for so that when we watch it, it's like a mashup of a show we're watching, like a CSI show, and then the real people involved, and that some of the things that we were kind of questioning are, I think, very deliberate. After hearing from Anthony Zuiker, it sounds to me like they were intentionally made to be just deliberate but somewhat obscure, and now they're making them a little more, I think, obvious so that people don't continue to think that people are actually being murdered on the show.
Which is good for them because it shows that they can transform with it, and it really is the first show of its kind. Like, there's a lot of reality television out there, but I don't think there's anything in this reality fiction genre yet.
When
or
you
no one's
said
doing
that-
it this way. Like, this way is amazing the way that they're doing it.
Certainly not on network. I mean, maybe there's something, stuck in...
But even with all the other shows like The Biggest Loser or what other some like reality competition shows, I don't know that there's someone embedded that is going to win and you know what I mean? Like,
Well,
I don't think the whole thing's the same.
Things like the Joe Schmo,
Joe
like
Millionaire?
Well, is it Joe Millionaire?
Yes.
Okay, maybe
Same difference.
I don't know, but they've had that where he's like not really a millionaire type of thing, and he's acting. But I feel like they're all
Different.
acting a little bit, because obviously they have to, like retell their story, when they die, that type of thing. But when you said reality fiction, I feel like that really clicked. Like, it totally makes sense that it is reality fiction.
And I mean, I think that Anthony actually expressly kind of distinguished from the Joe Millionaire, which was you had an actual actor portraying Evan Marriott, the supposed thing, who is also supposedly anyway. Well, in any event,
millionaire
it was,
dating show.
Right, it was,
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
Who wasn't a millionaire?
Right, actor, reality, etc. And I think he's trying to say that not only is this not one actor, being the killer, and then a bunch of, real people. These are actually real people. At least, as he says, not a lot of the contestants or applicants you get for reality TV shows.
Well, they are. Yeah, they're not actors at all. I mean, there's guidelines that they're telling them, and clearly they're not dying, but they are real people that are being, and like you said, they're exhausted. Some of them are over it. Some of them are ready to go home. And you could tell, which I thought I didn't think that Dina was going to die because of that interview. So it's kind of weird when you think that they're being so honest. Like, like I thought that was to throw us off when she was like, "Oh my God, I'm ready to go home."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then she died off, so she's clearly really was ready to go home, even from what Anthony said.
I was surprised at how straightforward both of the victims were this week. If you watch the episode, you say, and you don't have any, you're not questioning anyone's, credibility or what they're saying to you. If you just watch it very, straightforwardly, you say, boy, Dana wants to go home. She's just tired of it, and Sasha is pissed off. And Anthony said that's exactly what happened. And he's the Grim Reaper too.
Yeah, that's funny. The thing is, we all know that Sasha's been my pick from the beginning because of the way that she was pissed off, and she's kind of had this pissed off thing almost the whole way.
Sassy Sasha.
Yeah, and I thought she was kind of just flying under the radar, which I thought made it interesting and made her a good candidate for the killer. But I thought that would stop, and she would then, start adding more or, whatever, and it didn't happen that way. So, yeah, I feel like it definitely, tonight's episode, it was definitely time for her to
And
go.
we feel vindicated because...
And I've resisted every week. I've been like,
Virginia
no.
and I, we just thought she was pissed off.
She's pissed. I don't know. She's mad.
Yeah.
But, so, and I thought that it was very interesting as well as, there's our word, interesting. I know we say it a lot. Sorry, guys. That Gino, Milena, and Dana were the three that didn't get the information or half of the information from Chris, and Milena was still saved. She was still spared.
Well, that's because Sasha I feel like she got in her own head and messed up her card.
Sasha was like poison chewing tobacco for Ulysses, which seems a bit out of character.
Yeah. And I wonder if she did. I wonder if she was just over it and was like, I'm going to say the most ludicrous thing. Chewing tobacco. Like, he wasn't, you guys would know, if you're riding horses and someone has chewing tobacco, they're going to spit, they're going to have a wad, you would kind of know. She kind of pulled that one from left field.
And she had all the information. And Chris even told her, you saw everything, so why did she come up with this crazy idea?
I don't know. And she was so heated about that song, that childhood song, which I've never heard before.
Red touches yellow, kills a fellow. Red touches black, friend of Jack.
Yeah, I grew up in New York, so we didn't really have snakes.
We had that in Texas. I've heard that before.
Well, either way, Gino screwed everyone by being like, yeah, there's white on that snake. No, he was thinking of the 80s band, but neither here nor there.
I thought there was white on the snake.
I thought there was too.
I think there was white on the snake, but the snake had nothing to do with it. We can go back and watch it, and we'll see. But, also the other thing that's interesting is how they aren't actors, then that kind of blows our whole idea of Chris, the ex-beauty queen, being, you
what
know,
does she
the
do now?
killer. Well, she's an ex-beauty queen.
No, that's
they
not-
do
that's
like
an ex.
promo work and, you know, stuff like that.
No, I don't know. I don't know
They
what
do.
promo work
Yeah,
is.
but you would think that she would have some other title than ex-beauty queen.
Yeah, I mean,
She would have promotions.
yeah,
Marketing.
promo guide or.
They
whatever.
do that, you know, like that's her highest title. Maybe she just let her be the ex-beauty queen. Let
Okay,
her do it.
They should just put beauty queen.
Yeah.
But she-
The
then they
ex
would-
is like she's not
no.
this anymore, but we're gonna put this as her title.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
That's the part that throws me.
All right, yeah, retired beauty queen. I don't know.
You
Beauty.
can't really retire.
She's
Beauty-
not beautiful anymore.
I
She's an
know.
ex-beauty queen.
No.
That sounds terrible.
I like Chris though. I feel like she's slowly
She's on my
climbing
radar.
the ranks of like she might be one of the winners because she's figuring stuff out.
And
like
yeah.
she's always she's a smart ex-beauty queen.
She has elf-like ears as well, which are cute.
Which is what we'll also
Lord of the
do.
Rings
What we're
character.
also gonna do this week in predictions, which we're almost there, but not quite yet. We should, now that we know that that's the way that it was, we should predict who we think the killer is and also who we think wins. Because we
I
haven't
like
been
it.
doing that.
No, yeah, because we've been just guessing who the killer is.
Right. So we don't know.
But we're getting down to where
Really
we
putting
should.
us on the spot every week. I mean, Zuiker wouldn't even do that. He said no more.
That's true.
You
He
really-
did say that.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
it's funny.
fun.
It's funny because people agree, people disagree. We love your guys' comments on iTunes. Our website, AfterBuzzTV.com, is great. Also, if you guys are online, there's a great thing. I don't know if you heard about it yet or not, but Serial Buddies. It's a movie that our creators, Maria Menounos and Kevin Undergaro, did together. It's an amazing. It's funny. It's like Dexter meets Dumb and Dumber. It's awesome. You guys should download it, watch it, leave comments about it. We'd really appreciate that. Okay, sorry, I just had to say that. I was just thinking about it.
Okay, but also we kind of left out a little bit of the whole drama with Gino coming over and saying,
Right.
like, you need to be part of our team. If you do, you'll be safe. And then look what happens to his team. It's kind of like, I mean, I really do like that Cam was like, back off, buddy, not going to happen. You know, even though I kind of think Cam is a jerk,
I kind of like Cam.
yeah. Well, whatever. Anyway,
I'm not a fan of Cam.
I don't eat like he's just a little too arrogant for me. A little
And
too
that's why I
cocky.
think he's not the killer, because he wouldn't be like, okay, let me take the safe card and maybe, get a payday anyway.
And this is also why I don't think Gino is the killer, because I feel like Gino is stirring up too much stuff. I don't feel like the killer would go to the other team and be like, come back to our team. We promise you you'll be safe. I feel like he's too much of a game changer or trying to be a game changer that he can't be the killer.
Which is really funny, too, with the teams. It's really going, like, back and forth, seesawing.
I love
Tongue
that
twister.
New York accent.
I know, it comes out every now and then. Between, like, what's the strong team? Like, a couple weeks ago, Cam's team was a strong team, and everyone was, like, trying to go over there and get information from them. And then all of a sudden, people might be defecting to Team Cam.
It's that clue. It really is that clue, because that's who, I mean, whoever figures it
now we're
out.
down to 3-3, and Ronnie's already
Are
alienated.
we down to 3-3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
We're
6
down to
people
3-3.
left.
They took
so
two
it's,
out of-
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's Cam, Lindsay, and Chris, and then Gino, Ronnie, and Milena. That's who's left.
Wow, those are the teams this week too. I mean,
Right.
we don't even know. I mean, at some point there's going to be some defections, and someone's going to say, "Hey, let's go 4."
I
Well,
think, but also there's only 5 episodes left.
All right.
Oh wait, no. So
No,
you-
there's
No,
like-
there's
there's like-
4.
Are there 4?
He said
4 episodes left. Yeah.
I know,
Sorry,
we're
we've
gonna
had
miss.
5. So there's 4 episodes.
And there's going to be 3 on the finale, is what it sounded like. He says the finale has 3 contestants: winner, loser, killer.
The interesting thing
So-
is, or not interesting.
Okay.
Well, interesting. I've already said it. Sorry, guys. But Ronnie kind of pissed off some people this week, so they're
did.
already,
And he was scared. He said that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he should be. He got the info and he didn't share it with his team. But I mean, going down to this final thing, you have to, like, he knew his team didn't have the information. So if you're thinking there's only a few of us left, I need to get it. I mean, I would maybe flop too.
Flop.
Maybe not flop.
Wait,
Flip
so
flop?
math-wise, is there going to be 1 week where someone doesn't die? If there's 4 episodes
so I
left,
just did it, and so there's
I'm like, wait a minute.
there's 6 going into episode 6.
Right.
There's 3 in episode 9. So either there's one elimination going forward, or there's going to be one with 2 and 0. But it works out that if there's only one
for each episode. Then we have episode 6 starts with 6, episode 7 starts with 5, episode 8 starts with 4, episode 9, which is the finale, starts with 3, and then you have your winner, loser, killer.
Okay, I don't think there's going to be another double murder then.
I don't think so.
No.
There's probably, I mean, they've used that twist.
Right, and then they have to not kill someone, which would make it kind of like, meh.
Yeah. Meh.
Meh. Okay. So anything else that you guys want to talk about? It's very interesting. I love that word now. Now we're saying it like
I know.
That's interesting.
totally.
Oh,
The interesting after show. But I think it's, Dana and Sasha together dead. That looks very, I'm real curious about that death.
I was sad about Dana because I've grown to like her
love
more.
her. Yeah.
At first, I kind of thought she was annoying, and then now hearing,
was the
from
makeover.
him that, hearing from her that like she was really actually that stressed,
I know.
and then I kind of felt bad because I thought she was just totally acting.
No.
I thought she was a little overacting, but then I think maybe she's just dramatic.
No, she's actually.
She looked tired.
She looked tired, and she's tweets back and forth a lot.
Yeah.
And she's actually really genuine and really awesome. So we're sorry to see you go, Dana. So
Yeah, I was
keep in touch.
sad.
Yeah, I was kind of sad about that too. She brought drama, but not because she was dramatic. You know what I mean? Like she just had a presence that made you be like, "Oh, what's going on?"
Yeah.
So
Well, it looks to me like she got all the blood maybe drained out of her as part of her death.
That looks creepy.
Yeah, it reminded me of the Andromeda strain where they take all the blood out of. Anyway, it turns to solids. Well, neither here nor there. But I think next week's death will be interesting because they didn't actually show us. Well, I don't overuse that word. I'm cool using it in the correct. I don't.
someone
worry about-
actually went back, and we love that you guys watch the show, and we love that you guys do this stuff because now we're aware of it. But someone went back and wrote every time that we said the word
Down to the
interesting
minute.
down like to the minutes. But it's a really interesting show, so it's the best word, and we can't say other words that we might want to say. So.
Interesting.
No, none of that.
Sorry.
Okay.
No, we appreciate that. Okay, so I think it's time for predictions, unless there was anything else that I missed.
Can we also predict the manner of
your
death next
AFTERBUZZ
week since we don't know what it is?
Predictions.
Never.
But we never really know the death. We didn't know he got snake bitten
No, that's
today.
all right.
not
Never
snake
mind.
bitten.
All right, let's just do the. All right, fine. You shoot down my.
Why don't you go first then?
I can't.
Mr.
I can't.
Prediction.
I'm very hurt by. You guys go ahead.
Go ahead, Virginia.
Okay, so I think the next person that is going to be voted off is going to be Melina, or scared or killed or whatever. I just feel like she, out of all of them, I feel like she's kind of the weakest one. I don't know. That's my guess. I feel like the killer. I'm starting to think it's Ronnie.
Okay.
Bounty hunter.
So you
Bounty
think
hunter.
Melina dies next week? Ronnie's the killer. Who do you think wins?
I'm gonna think Chris.
Okay. What about you, Brian?
I still think Gino's the killer. Haven't changed. Still sleeping at the beginning. I think that. I think Lindsay's gone next week. She just seems a bit whiny. And then the winner, I'm gonna go with Cam.
Oh,
Okay.
please no.
I think that next week Lindsay is gonna go. I think that the killer is Ronnie, and I think that Melina is gonna win.
Really?
I do. Because I think Lindsay is somewhat very dramatic of a character right now still. So I think people now at this point in the game are like, well, then it's got to be Lindsay because she's been played back and forth. There's a lot of drama surrounding her. So for me, it would make sense if she goes next.
Changed your mind on the flight attendants, eh?
Yeah, well, Sasha's dead, so I gotta find somebody else. Okay, so thank you guys for watching another after show with us. You can find me on Twitter at IAMSTEFZ.
And you can find me at Virginia Reyna.
And you can find me weekly on the podcast.
Sweet. Thank you guys so much. And thank you again, Brian. Thank you again, Anthony, for calling in and being part of our show. We really appreciate it. Thanks.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.